Hey guys, it's Ray. Welcome to another video. Um, I had so much fun transforming the last house I did, so I'm doing this one. It's another old one that's like all the way down on my gallery. It's called um, Tales End Country Home because the name of the lot is Tales End, so you can see how creative I am there. Um, but I ended up changing the name. I think I changed it to like Chic Cabin or something like that because it kind of has like the kind of country vibes. So just thought that name was would kind of fit. And so I'm giving like you an overall tour of the house right now. Um, as you can see, no columns. I think columns make a big difference. The layout here is kind of wonky. I just have like little rooms here and there, and I am able to fit a lot of bedrooms because of that. So you can see I have a bunch of bedrooms on the first floor, but look at this wallpaper. It's like ombre, and I use like the teal wallpaper for every bedroom, which doesn't even match, and I don't know why I did that. Don't ask me. I do have this open area over here, which I do like. I like how I put some little cats and dogs uh, decoration items, like the little cat scratcher. Don't usually put that in build, so I thought that was cute. But oh, that very empty gym right there. And oh, look at the lighting. There's no lighting in the bathroom, and there are no like windows either. I need to learn my lighting skills. And the tree breaking into the wall there. That's definitely a pet peeve of mine. I try to avoid that as much as possible. This weird like kind of hallway area that like leads to these rooms. And okay, why didn't I just open? I didn't know how to open that wall up so I put windows and then a wall and then more windows. That literally makes no sense. I don't know. And it worked on that side. I don't understand what I'm doing, but I'm doing something, guys. I'm doing something. So, like, I like the front, how I have like kind of that roof curve like that, and I wanted to put in something similar in the kind of renovated version. So I did kind of go with that, but I added a lot more detail. I didn't have that like super light colored roof because I did not really like that. But as you can see, first I'm just getting rid of all the wallpaper and see that thing in the back. That's because we didn't have like octagonal or diagonal roofs or like anything like that. Because if you remember, like when we first got the game, like the roofs, like you couldn't do the octagon shapes. So you can see in the little, I have little octagon shaped areas in the front, and they didn't have the roofs on them. So I added those to make them look a little better. So now I'm just getting rid of all the interior walls. I didn't like the layout. I mean, like, it was a nice idea on my part, but like, it wasn't nice. I'm pretty sure I got that layout off of the internet. Just like sometimes I look up like floor plans to give me ideas and inspirations. And then I kind of built the outside from there. But I find a lot of success now building from outside in. So I used to do like layouts first and then kind of make the outside work with it. But I think I have a lot more success in building when I do the outside first. I'm like, this is what the front's going to look like. I'm going to add these details. Then I'm going to work that into the inside because for me, I care a lot more about the exterior than the interior of a build just personally because I'm like the kind of person who does like the building, the exterior, and I'm not so much an interior person. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you can probably guess I did not do any of the bedrooms and I didn't do all the bathrooms. I'm sorry. I did just like the main areas and I kind of decorated the outside a little bit too. But honestly, it's just not something I want to spend my time doing. I like building the outside. Once I'm done with the outside, I'm like, okay, can someone else decorate this? Because I'll do like the kitchen, the living area, everything like that. But once it gets to like the bedrooms, it's so tedious. I'm just like, I can't do this. But again, in this build, just like my last build, I used the tool mod by Twisted Maxi. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing now. And I feel like I just don't know how long don't know how I went without without using it for so long. Like right now, just being able to use it and to have it is just so nice. And I just can't believe I like didn't use it for that long. And I don't know what I would do without it if I had to get rid of it again. So I'm just like so thankful and it's so nice to have that. I definitely recommend getting it. You can get it off of Twisted Mexi's website and it's a free download. It's amazing. You can rotate objects to a specific degree, and I love that so much. I used it in this build. I used it to scale up these island living windows. You'll see I use it in the front center there. I scale them up to 1.2 times the original size to make them reach the ceiling because they're only for the short height. So I made them bigger to fit to the taller height, and then I rotated them at different degrees to kind of make this like circular entrance area, and I also use it in the back. And I don't know what I would do without it. It's like my favorite thing. So definitely recommend if you guys love building and you will need some new ideas or some tools to use. So now I'm just figuring out the front still. I had a little bit trouble with this. I knew I wanted to have like an octagonal piece somewhere. I didn't know where I wanted it to be. I didn't know if I wanted to be on the outside, on the front side or the back side. I end up putting it in the back right. So I think that ends up happening a little bit later, but I think I leave it be just for a little bit because I'm like trying to figure it out. Yeah, and then I do spend like so much time doing this, and it's kind of boring, but you can skip ahead. I should have cut a lot of this out, but sometimes I like seeing how other builders kind of like work with things and like their process. So I kind of like showing mine as well, just in case anyone like wants to know how I like get the ideas I do, and how I like I don't just think of random things. I like have to play around with it, and I don't just get these like ideas for houses off the top of my head. Like I have to play around with it and see how it works, and I like to see how other people do that. So that's why I kind of wanted to include that in my video as well. But if that's not for you, you can always skip ahead. I don't mind. Sometimes there are just points in builds where you can't watch anymore. You gotta skip ahead to see the end result. You're like, I can't wait. Don't want to see the process anymore. I just want to see like what the end result looks like. So I definitely get that. And I'm figuring out what I need to do with the sides here. I can't figure it out. I'm just like, what do I do? What do I do? The back here, I knew I didn't want to do that weird, the way I put the roof in, because I had like almost a square room, but then there was a one part that was diagonal. So like in the back, I was like, what am I doing? I don't know why I did that. And I don't know why I made the roof like that. Like if I was gonna do any roof like that now, even if we didn't have like octagonal roofs, I would just do like a half wall. But you can see that I did like a long roof and then a slightly shorter roof and then a slightly shorter roof all in front of each other, and it looks so bad. I don't know why I did that, guys. But thank goodness I get to fix it now, and I think the end result looks a lot better than it used to look before. It was kind of plain and boring, and this is a little more detailed, a little more variety, kind of just like what you're looking at. So I think it definitely is an improvement. So now I'm just figuring out the front left side here. I end up making it into a garage. You'll see later, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to do now. I didn't want to do a balcony on the left side because I'm also doing that on the right side, and there's already a balcony in the middle. I wanted to avoid all the back balconies. I feel like sometimes I can do too many, and that just does not look right. So I did end up cutting that out and doing a little garage. I think it looks kind of out of place because this is such a big house and it's like just a tiny garage off to the side, but I wanted to add something that was like a little bit different than the rest of the house, that like looked somewhat different. So I did like doing that. And this lot is I think it's 30 by 40 or maybe 40 by 50. It's not like a huge lot. So I was really worried at first because I was like, darn, I'm so used to building on like big lots. Like small houses are just usually not for me. Like, I don't know. So it was kind of hard at first. I was like, okay, you gotta take a breath. You can't take up too much space. So that's why instead of deleting like most of the build and like getting rid of most of the walls, I kind of just worked with what I had and added some stuff and took some stuff out. In my last like transformation build, I think I changed like a lot more of the house. But this part, this time I don't think I did that as much, which I hope is helpful because, you know, you can change a lot about a build by not changing like too much of it. Just like a little bit of the outside and the roofs and all that. So that's basically what I ended up doing here. And I tried to, oh, there, I put the octagonal piece down. But so I was trying to kind of keep it to its original size so it wouldn't kind of overflow on the lot. And an issue that I have also with small lots is that when you have like the cover photo of it that you upload on the gallery, if it's a small lot in a big house, it'll be like, this is the house in the picture. Like it won't even show the entire house. But like if it's a big lot and a big house, it'll show like more of it because it's further back and it's just from a different perspective. So I was kind of worried. I was like, oh God, it's going to be like the whole picture is this random house. But I think it ended up looking okay because I added like plants and stuff. So it wasn't just like bam, house right in front of you. I think the plants can make a big difference in whether the house is just like a big block or whether it's like, okay, this is welcoming, like it looks cute, I'm gonna go in. So I think that makes a big difference. Like when you're uploading to the gallery and you want to make your builds look a certain way, you want them to look appealing so that people will download them or whatever, and to try them out. So I knew I wanted to do more curves. Like when I do curves in the front, I want to do curves in the back. And especially with the roofs that I used, I kind of like, I hit Control or Shift C and then clicked on the roof. And then instead of just those two dots, you get 2 or 4 extra dots. You have the 1, 2, 3 to make 6 dots. So you can edit them. And I ended up like playing around with the dots. So instead of like just a roof like that or a roof like that, roof like that, I had like a roof kind of like that. It was like more curvy. So because of that like curve, I wanted to include something similar with it. So that's why I went with those circular parts. And you'll see, like I was talking about before, I used the tool mod to switch around like the windows to kind of accommodate that shape. And I think that adds a lot because I really wish you could have like round walls in builds, and I understand why you can't, like it makes sense, but just adding that like facade that it is like a rounded section of the house, I think that looks super cool, and I love doing that, and I think that makes a really big difference in builds. So I had a lot of fun doing that, and I'm definitely going to be doing it more often now that I have the tool mod. I just think it's so cool to be able to do. So okay, now I guess I'm figuring out the side. I'm like, okay, I have to stop avoiding it. I need to make this side look good. Oh, I'm just kidding. I did avoid it. I keep avoiding it. But you'll see. I'll get back to it eventually. Sometimes if there's a part I don't want to do of a build, I'd be like, forget it. I need to take a break. I just can't deal with this right now. And that's definitely like good advice, I think, to anyone else who is having problems like with builder's block and like they don't know what to do next. They built most of a house, but they just need the finishing touches and they can't decide how to make it like pop or anything, something like that. So I definitely suggest like take a break. It's so much easier to take a break and come back, even though you're frustrated that you can't do it now. If you come back with a fresh mind, maybe some new ideas, it's a lot easier, and that's definitely helped me in the past. So it is something that I like to do. Okay, now I'm just playing around with it and just ignore that part because I don't know what I was doing. But here I kind of create a little porch area off to the side, and I like that because I end up like having wall-to-wall windows against that whole entire porch area, and it's really nice because the master bedroom leads into that, and so does the living room. So it's just kind of like this nice like light area that has some seating outside, and I used some of the outdoor seating from I think Seasons, but there's also the same type of seating that comes with cats and dogs where it's like the bench that's like diagonal kind of. And I usually don't use that just because it's so super awkward to kind of like fit into areas unless it's like a very specific shape. But I was able to fit it in here and I really like it. You'll see it when I start doing the interior decorating. And I just think it's super cute because it's like something different. It's not just like a plain square, or a rectangle. It's just like it's more of a diagonal. Gives a little bit more interest. So now I'm figuring out the exterior, the back exterior. I can't think of the word for some reason. And oh, I'm adding columns. My favorite part. I love these columns. They're good together. I use them a lot, more than I would like to admit. They're like one of my favorites because they're not just like the perfect color combination because they come in so many colors, but they're also so detailed. I love how it has that the bottom, center, and top area that is like a little bit wider, and then it has the inside like the column area. It's like darker, so you can see how it's kind of like you can see the depth in it. So I really like that. It's not just plain boring white. So I definitely knew I wanted to add those when I saw them. And I usually don't add this like super big white roof trim to my builds, but I decided that I did want to do that because I think it makes a really big difference in this house because I knew it was going to be kind of brown and yellow like it is, like I'm making it right now. So knew I wanted to have that like white to contrast it because I don't like when builds are too dark and I don't like when builds are too light. So I definitely wanted to have some contrast there. So what I end up doing is I use that trim that's super light, but I do go with a dark roof. So instead, in the build that it originally was, it was like a super light roof color with like the dark trim, but instead I go for the light trim and the darker roof. And I love this brown roof. And here I go, finally. I'm done avoiding it. I do the side of the build. And you might know that I am obsessed with making everything symmetrical, and it's really a weakness. But I think I end up making it work because I add something similar to the other side. So from the front, it looks symmetrical, but it's not exactly the same. It ends up being a little bit different. And here I am struggling to put it in. But it's like different enough. And I think that's like one of my favorite things about this house is that it's not super symmetrical. It's not like perfect. It's different enough, but it's still similar enough to kind of like leave you satisfied, if you know what I mean. Like it's close enough. Like from like your original, like just looking at it first glance, you're like, okay, this is aesthetically pleasing. You might see like a few little things that are different, but like it's okay. Like it's enough, I think. So it's similar enough that you're not like, this house is completely crazy. What is going on? So I did like that about it. And I think I did a good job in my other transformation video that I did earlier this week. I do think I also did a decent job with that because it was also kind of symmetrical, but not really. So that's usually what I go for with my houses because I feel like I have a hard time like blending themes kind of. So to be able to blend like different ideas, I need to be able to make it consistent all around, but also different enough so that it's not just super repetitive, if you get what I mean. So here I'm using the tool mod. I'm sizing them up now because you can see they're too short. I love how these windows have slats in them because like originally they did go with they came with Island Living, so they were supposed to be like super tropical, but I was like, you know what, this will definitely fit because it kind of matches like that kind of barn vibe, like with siding and all that. So just because of the horizontal lines, I thought that fit pretty well. And then I was like, oh shoot, I can't fit a little one in the middle. So I added a doorway, and what I ended up doing is I sized them all up and then I raised them. So it has this like slatted pattern like the rest of them have, which is like the most extra thing I've ever done. But I play tested it, as you can see, and my sim's able to get in through there. Luckily, I'm able to like play test things now. Before I was lazy because I didn't want to play test, so because I didn't want to move a sim onto the lot, and like honestly that was too much work for me because like I didn't have any households in progress really. But what I did is I downloaded just a random, like one of the random starter beginner sims off of the gallery, and I just placed her in, and I found it necessary to do that anyways because with the tool mod you can only do that in live mode. So I was like, darn, I need to be in live mode anyways, might as well play test this while we're at it. So if there are any like questionable areas that I'm like, ooh, is she gonna be able to get into that, I do test it just to make sure. So I'm about to do terrain. Okay, this happened in another build. I think this happened in the like Hamptons mansion build that I did a while ago. But after doing this terrain, I came back, I saved my game and exited. And then when I came back to it, it was completely gone. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. Is it Brindleton Bay that's like buggy? But like the terrain was gone. So you will see that it's a little bit different. I end up using decide to use a different stone anyways. I use like the gravel because I thought that fit better, but I was just so confused. Like luckily all the terrain plants and everything was still there, but I was just like, why you have to do this to me? So I think I put all the terrain paint back on off camera because you don't need to see it twice, right? It's basically the exact same thing, but it was very frustrating for me. And now no build is complete without a ton of plants around it. So that's what I'm doing right here. I start with a few, then I keep going and I start adding a bunch. So it's very exciting. I like these grass things. I've used them a lot of times before because they just kind of work really well. They match the grass pretty well, and they just add some really nice details to landscaping. And then I decided to add more plants to the front. I use these little base game like short grass thingies. I don't usually add I don't think I've ever used those before unless I'm doing like some sort of a pond type build. But I kind of liked it because it kind of was like a smooth transition from the just super short, not tall at all, completely flat grass terrain paint to like the super tall grass object. So I was like, okay, first we're gonna go no tall grass to medium grass to tall grass. So I thought that was kind of like a nice transition, and I added some color with these hydrangeas and with the lavender bushes, and I end up adding a few more plants to the back, but that's once I decide that I'm going to, what I'm gonna do like with the back, because I end up making it like curved and I add little stairs down. So I'll do that in a little bit. But before that, I do the rocks. I was like, I need something else to, line out this driveway, and it's already rocky, so I might as well use the rocks. So one of my favorite things ever, using rocks. I was gonna do the rocks all the way around the house and to outline the plants, but I was like, it's too much effort. Like Sim Kim would do this, of course, because she's amazing and her landscaping skills are beautiful, but I'm not gonna do that. I could, but I'm not. And I think if it truly made a huge difference, I would have done it, but I don't think it would have made a big enough difference that it would be super noticeable. And here I am adding just the terrain paint to make it the dirt seem a little more obvious. I think that makes it a lot more realistic and kind of irritating because I end up doing that all over again, but it's fine. And then I outline this path here, and it doesn't really go anywhere. It just goes to the back of the lot, so it kind of cuts off, which I don't exactly like, but it's fine. So now I'm doing the kitchen. As you know, I love symmetry, obviously. I end up putting two little stove/ovens here because that was the only way for it to be centered. But some really fancy kitchens have that anyway, so that was my excuse. I end up putting a sink on the island because it's symmetrical there, and I put the fridge into that wall cabinet area that I just placed over there. One of my favorite things to do is to kind of place a built-in fridge. I've done this in some other builds, and I really recommend, I super recommend it because it looks so nice and like fancy, and it's not just a weird fridge like sticking out, because I feel like the fridges stick out more than the counters, so it looks kind of odd and out of place, but having it like built into the wall makes it look super smooth and kind of seamless and classy, and I really like that. So I have the Jungle Adventure table here with Parenthood chairs around the table. Also, I had the Parenthood stools that are matching with it. So I decided to go with this mint theme. I put up curtains for the windows from Seasons, and those are also the mint color. So I thought that fit. And I'm cluttering up the kitchen a little bit right now. I end up using the trick where I size down the dishwashers, and I can place things under the counter there, and I really like doing that. It's a lot of fun for me. I just like creating things from something else that it like wasn't necessarily meant to be. Now I'm trying to raise an object on top of the microwave, but it keeps disappearing, so I give up with that and put it somewhere else. I like that mug thing because it's like realistic. Like you're not just gonna automatically wash your dishes and they're super clean and then they disappear into the cabinets, right? You're gonna have to put them somewhere to dry. So I like doing the drying rack next to the sink that came with Parenthood, and of course the the mug drying rack, which comes with the base game. Those are some of my favorite things to put in kitchens in my builds. So just decorating a little area over here because there was some space. And now I'm figuring out the wall colors. I knew I wanted the room to be mint, but I think it would have been too much to make the wall mint as well. That would have just been like mint overload. So I do make that wall color across the hall for the living room. But before that, I'm just adding a little seating area over here, trying to find some chairs that match. I use these season chairs, and I put a little ottoman there as well because I can't resist a matching ottoman. It's so cute to me. Sorry guys, I can't resist. So now I'm going to the bathroom here. I think this is the only bathroom I do. I apologize, but bathrooms are repetitive. You get the gist, It's easy enough to do them. I literally copy counters and then put it down. Then I copy a sink, and then I put it down. Then I copy a shower and the toilet and all the decorations, and I copy it down, put it where it was before. So basically super repetitive. And I just scaled that shelf there to kind of match the size of the shower. So I kind of have these two even things for the toilet to be in between because symmetry is life. And here I'm doing the hallway area. I use these Jungle Adventure rugs, and I'm figuring out what to put on the wall over here. I swear that that base game painting, I always thought it came with Jungle Adventures, the one with like that I was gonna place up with like the zigzaggy like felt like pattern, if that was framed like against the that like backboard, like the shadow box, I guess. I'm like trying to think of the right word, but it doesn't. And I like always thought it came with Jungle Adventure because it kind of matches like the zigzaggy like jungle theme. And now I'm like really confused, and I'm like, wow, I'm shocked. I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. Just some things like you just assume like in your mind, and then you're like, oh wait, never mind, and then I feel stupid. So it's fine. Now I'm just decorating the entrance area. I feel like the hardest room for me to decorate is the entrance area because I'm like, I don't know what to put in it. Like, I don't know what is like special that is going to look good because I feel like entrance areas to me, like in my mind, they're always like mud rooms. So like they're not something that you like think is cute and you want to hang out in. But I had like I just ended up having a lot of room in this entrance area. So I put like some cute little like ottoman like benches. So that came with Island Living. I always try to remember what pack things come with, and sometimes it just blanks. Like, I usually remember the pack, but I just can never remember the name of the pack, and I feel like other people have that issue too. Like, please let me know I'm not crazy, because there are just so many packs. I'm like, some of them are like get to work, get together, and then some of them are like living, like city living. I don't even see, I can't even think of it. I just can't think of it. And then apparently, like, once eco lifestyle came out, everyone was like, no, it should be eco living, which actually makes sense. But I'm like, let's not add to the confusion. There are already enough packs that sound almost exactly like. And I definitely appreciate the consistency. Do not get me wrong. I love consistency. But sometimes it's just too similar, it's too similar and you're going to get confused. And that is how I feel with this situation. But now I'm doing the living room, and I originally didn't want to be mint because I was like, the whole other half of the house is mint. Like, that's too much. But I ended up going for it anyways because I was like, well, there's nothing mint in here, so I might as well like make the walls mint. And these curtains wouldn't place unless I deleted all of the windows. So watch me place them all again. And this is the tactic that I use to make that fake garage. Sometimes the windows will like switch around which one is clear, but as long as you click on the ones that are in the same line, those will be the ones that are clear and you can see through. So it just looks like a bunch of panels, and then some of them are windows. So I like doing that to kind of create that look like that this is a real garage. And now I'm just decorating this living area over here. I think after that, I do a little bit of outside decorating. I don't know if I have it in the video, but we are almost to the end of the build. Let me know if you liked it. If you want me to transform another house again, I'm having so much fun because like looking back on my houses and like seeing the mistakes that I made, it's like embarrassing, but also like super relieving because I get to fix them. So definitely let me know if you like this, and I will definitely be doing them again. Like if you guys like it, and because it's a win-win, because I'm having fun. If you guys like watching it, you're having fun, definitely let me know. So I'm just doing some outdoor areas here. It's not technically outdoor because it's not like open to the outdoor, but it is by a doorway, so the lighting is fine in there. I know one annoying thing with like the lighting is that it's always like super like odd when it's technically outside, so that's why I kept it in the archways, and I kind of kept it enclosed within those other windows there that I sized up and used tool to make it into a circular pattern kind of. So now I'm just adding outdoor lights. I don't know why I keep these in my videos. It's boring, but now you get to see the way I light the outside of the house, I guess. You're welcome. I don't know. So yeah, just sit and watch that for a couple minutes, and then we're about to get to the screenshots, I believe. We'll see. Oh, I'm adding wallpaper, and I'm going to count bedrooms too, so I can put it in the number there. This is boring. This is boring. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so screenshots are like about to come, but you have to make sure it's always bright at night. Always. That's another pet peeve of mine. Always bright. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Here are the screenshots, finally. If you would like me doing this, just let me know. If you have any other ideas for me to do, let me know. I love getting new ideas. I do like doing some of the same things, but I also like, kind of doing different things. So if you have any other ideas for me, let me know. Comment, and if you want to look at my gallery, it's Ray3501. Check it out. If you see any like super ugly builds at the bottom that you want me to redo, like just comment them. Let me know. If you think there are ones that I could fix or whatever, let me know. If there's styles you like, let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.